So a typical breakfast in Iceland, you would usually have coffee, tea, fruit juice, or smoothies, and they love eggs Benedict, Norwegian style, or eggs Florentine, which is eggs with spinach, and then brioche French toast, and then a lot of their other stuff is like yogurt or berry compote, which is like a jam, a fruit jam, or a fruit like soup, I guess you could say. And then they eat, cheese, bacon, the typical stuff, but a lot healthier compared to Americans. And then for lunch or dinner, basically the same thing. They'll eat, a lot of the favorite things are lamb meat soup, sheep's head, fish stew, dried fish jerky. Fermented shark is a favorite too. Sour ram's testicles is also a favorite. And then skyr, which is an imported good in America, is a famous Icelandic yogurt, which many people love. They eat whale meat, puffin, and lamb a lot. So fun facts about Iceland is that they actually allow commercial whaling, hence they do eat some whale. And so raw puffin heart is a delicacy. It's like escargot in America. Ice cream is one of their favorite refined carbs, I guess you could say. Black licorice, as I said earlier. So also in Iceland, they have very, very high taxes, and that's because they have a public health system. So people don't have to pay for insurance. It's paid for by taxes. And because of the agriculture in Iceland, a lot of things have to be imported, so fresh fruit and vegetables are very scarce and they have to import that from other countries. So Iceland is one of the few countries that does not have a McDonald's. So there were 4 locations, but they closed in 2009. But Starbucks and Burger King do not exist, but for some reason they do have Taco Bell and KFC. Coffee culture is pretty big in Iceland, so there are many non-franchise cafes around. Americans have a very unhealthy diet compared to many other countries. So in Iceland, they eat a diet that is considered the Nordic diet, which is very similar to the Mediterranean diet. So a lot of their carbohydrates they get from vegetables such as carrots, rhubarb, and rutabaga, etc. Legumes, they eat beans, peas, chickpeas, and more. For grain, they really like wheat, rye bread, and barley. They use that in a lot of their cooking. And for some refined carbs, which aren't necessary, but it's always nice to indulge, they love black licorice, and then special Icelandic soda, pastries such as cinnamon rolls and rice puffs. So a lot of their protein consists of lamb and seafood, and lamb is a huge one, but seafood is also a huge one. So for their fish, they usually eat haddock, carpelin, cod, lobsters, clams, you name it, they eat it. So for fats and lipids, they usually a lot of their food is cooked in canola oil, so the Nordic diet is very low in fat. Saturated fat includes so butter, cheese, and red meat, which they don't eat a whole lot of red meat, but that's what they get it from if they do eat it. So for unsaturated fat, that would be fish, avocado, vegetable oils, or canola oil, what they cook in, and then nuts and legumes. And for nucleic acids, food that's mainly high in nucleic acids is seafood. So, as you know, they eat a lot of seafood, so that's where they get a main source of their nucleic acids from.
Welcome to Breaking News. Now, with Bailey the Fountain reporting from Iceland. Today, we found out Iceland is one of the healthiest nations in the world. Iceland has the highest percentage of residents who exercise more than 150 minutes outside of work each week. The people of Iceland enjoy football, golf, basketball, tennis, swimming, and chess, but the most popular is by far handball. Icelanders often participate in horseback riding, river rafting, biking, fishing, and even hiking during the nice weather for hobbies. During the cooler months, the people tend to go glacier hiking and snowmobiling. The diet of Icelanders tends to be high in fiber and low in sugar. Their diets tend to be very healthy and consume little of processed food. They are very active people, so having healthy diets allows them to keep up their energy to exercise. Iceland has one of the highest employment rates in the country. Poverty in Iceland affects around 6,000 people in their country, which is a small amount. Due to this, Iceland has a very low rate of pollution and a high rate of life expectancy. Their foods are growing in a healthy country to keep them very healthy. Habits Americans can adopt from the people of Iceland will be to stop eating processed food. Icelanders eat healthy and avoid all the factory-produced foods. Their foods come from family farms, which ours should too, to help keep these families going. Instead, in America, we get foods from industrial farms, which are killing our small family farmers. Icelanders' life expectancy is so high due to their diet, but also their happiness. So Americans, remember to eat healthy and buy from a local farm to support them. And that is your breaking news from Iceland.